Brad Pickering, President and Founder of Innovate Advisory, and today I'm talking about creating a high-performance organization through visual management. This presentation is going to take you through how to better engage your organization, how to create organizational alignment, and how to improve productivity and the overall performance of your organization. So what is visual management? Visual management provides an ideal means for connecting employees throughout the organization, top to bottom. It's this conduit, if you can imagine, communicating information from the top around vision and strategic objectives and strategy down to the actual operating level of, here's what people on the floor are actually doing. Here's what their priorities are. Here's how the actual performance is going. It's providing that conduit and link between those things. So, and that link is around strategic objectives. It's around the initiatives and actions that people are taking at all levels. And then is the performance actually delivering on those things? Is the performance on track or off track? We want to be able to communicate those things through visual management. And to do so, it requires this visual management system. So why do this? Well, it's because people in organizations are disengaged. And there's a lot of statistics out there around this, but some current studies show that only 25% of employees are actually engaged. 15% are actually actively disengaged, so actively working against the direction of an organization. And 60% are just not engaged. So they're not necessarily against, but they're also not actively working towards an organization's objectives. And all of that comes with a huge, huge price. Overall, this is costing businesses in North America $350 billion a year in lost productivity. So Stephen Covey, in his book, The Eighth Habit, does a really great job of creating a soccer analogy to describe just exactly how disengaged organizations are. So when you see the stats around an organization, you think they sound really terrible, but I don't think it really hits home for people. Through Stephen Covey's soccer analogy, it becomes just crystal clear as to how low the engagement is. And through a sports analogy, you just know that this team has no hope of performing. We've talked a lot about the employee statistics already. You can see them on the left. And how those translate through, if a soccer team had these exact same stats, are as follows. So only 4 of 11 players would know which goal is theirs. Only 2 of 11 would actually care. Only 2 of 11 would know which position they play and know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And all but 2 players would be competing against their own team members in some way, rather against the competition. And only 3 of the 11 players would feel they're part of a team that they can believe in. So when you show that in the context of a soccer team, you just know, if I was to ask, geez, how many games would a team like this be able to win? I think the answer is pretty clear. It'd be 0. But that's the state of business today. That's after a poll of 23,000 employees that Stephen Covey did. So this really should be the call to action, I think, for people, and should be a bit of a wake-up call and say, wow, we really need a different approach. We really need to address this. This is probably the biggest issue facing organizations today, is this organizational health or organizational engagement. And so visual management becomes a compelling solution to this issue, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. It allows executives and companies to convey direction, strategy, and so on through a picture, and not necessarily through tomes and documents and 80-page strategies and so on, that people can start to understand what a company is trying to achieve at a glance. That's really what the intent is that anyone at any level, with any education level and so on, can understand at a glance where things are headed, what the priorities are, and what the actual results are, whether things are on track, off track, etc.